start today by asking you a question. How would you feel if every single day a new hurricane were to strike your community, destroying all of your restaurants, shops, and houses? Not too great, right? These are the equivalent living conditions that many polar bears are living under in today's world. The amount of ice in their Arctic homes has decreased to the point at which it's almost unable to support their existence. However, the source of the problem can be traced back to global warming. But what exactly is global warming?
Global warming is an ongoing phenomenon since 1850 that describes the climate change due to the warming of the Earth's surface. Humans are the most responsible for this phenomenon. Over the last 200 years, our industrial activities have been drastically increasing the amount of carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere, and we have emitted greenhouse gases by combusting fossil fuels for energy and transportation. These greenhouse gases, such as water vapor, CO2, methane, and nitrogen oxide, soak up the outgoing heat and re-emit on the Earth's surface, increasing the temperature of the surface of the Earth. This gradual and constant increase in temperature has destroyed the habitats of many species, including that of the polar bears. If not treated properly, most polar bears on Earth will be extinct by the year 2050. How exactly is global warming affecting the polar bears, though?
The issue has to do with the means by which the polar bear hunts its primary prey. They hunt by waiting for their prey to surface at openings in the ice or at breathing holes, as you can see in these two pictures on the screen. The issue is that with global warming raising temperatures in the Antarctic every year, monumentally large amounts of ice are melting. Without sufficient amounts of ice, polar bears are not able to hunt their primary prey. A polar bear's ideal diet consists of large seals, walruses, and whales. These animals are high in fat and provide polar bears with all the necessary nutrients that they need to survive. But it is rare that a polar bear will catch either a seal, walrus, or whale in open water. Therefore, polar bears, by necessity, have become opportunistic hunters. In times of desperation, they will look toward land for food sources such as vegetation, geese, and bird eggs. However, these terrestrial animals do not provide polar bears with the necessary nutrients that they need to survive.
As a result, over the course of the last 20 years, there has been a significant decrease in the survival rate of cubs and lower body weight and smaller skull size in adult male polar bears. In terms of population of polar bears in the world, it's extremely difficult to get anything even close to an exact number because of how spread out they are. Due to the search for polar bears have now spread out over hundreds of miles of ice in open water and range across international boundaries. However, if you look at this graph here, you will see that we do know there are 19 generally recognized subpopulations, and of those 19, 8 are declining in number, 3 are stable, 1 is increasing, and 7 have insufficient data.
And although the polar bear population is declining, these majestic furry friends are actually at the top of their food chain. And if you look at this diagram, then you will see that they are the consumers of seals, who are the consumers of fish, who are the consumers of crustaceans, who are the consumers of algae and plankton. All these organisms mentioned solely play the role of a consumer except for algae and plankton, which are the producers. Algae and plankton take up carbon dioxide from water and nutrients from the ocean bed soil, then transform them into the organic carbon of their tissues. After this is done, the series of consumers will feed on each other and convert their prey's carbon either into their own tissues or into sinking fecal pellets, also known as poop. Whenever one organism consumes another, an energy transfer is made from the consumed to the consumer. However, the amount of energy transferred is only 10% of the energy that is consumed, obtained from its recent prey. But wait, we are still forgetting a very important member of this cycle. These are the decomposers, which include bacteria that break down organic substances such as fecal pellets and animal carcasses, therefore releasing their nutrients into the seabed soil. Therefore, Both energy and carbon are transferred from producer to consumer to decomposer and then back to producer so that the process can repeat.
Back to the issue of the dwindling polar bear population, you should note that the polar bear's symbiotic relationships with other species also has effects. Before you begin, what is symbiosis? Symbiosis is an interaction between two or more different species of organisms that plays an influential role in the population cycle. The most common types of symbiosis include commensalism, parasitism, and mutualism. Polar bears share a mutualistic relationship with the Arctic foxes. Mutualistic relationship is a relationship in which both species of organisms benefit from each other. The Arctic fox follow behind polar bears and feed on the waste of their meals. The polar bears benefit in return by sometimes hunting the Arctic fox for food. Polar bears also share a symbiotic relationship with parasitic worms Citronella. They share a parasitic relationship in which only one species of organisms benefit from another, and the other is harmed. The larvae of the Citronella attach to various parts of the polar bear's body, especially the muscle tissues. When a large amount of the larvae attach in one specific area, such as the heart, the tissues become seriously damaged and potentially leads to death.
So where exactly do the polar bears live? The polar bears inhabit all areas of the Arctic, mainly the Arctic tundra. The Arctic tundra is one of the harshest and coldest biomes on Earth, if not the harshest. The tundra really only has 2 seasons, winter and summer. Summer lasts for about 6 to 10 weeks and is characterized by the sun being visible 24 hours a day. The Arctic tundra has been called the land of the midnight sun. However, the sun is still unable to warm up the biome, hinting to the still very mild temperatures, ranging from 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The winter, on the other hand, consumes the sunlight for the rest of the year, while the temperature does not reach above 20 degrees and averages -20 to -30 degrees Fahrenheit. The Arctic tundra is known for its bare landscape, snow on the ground all year, and its very cold and dry climate. This harsh environment makes it very difficult for the few plants and animals that live in the harsh conditions of the tundra. These animals are highly vulnerable to environmental stresses such as reduced snow cover and warmer temperatures brought by global warming.
In order to find the solution to this problem, we must identify it first. It is obvious that global warming is the problem. However, global warming creates many more problems, such as the lack of icebergs. Some have suggested in the past that if the polar bears are suffering due to the ice melting, then why not just build them giant floating platforms in the Arctic? However, this would not fix the problem, because these platforms will not provide the polar bear with the ideal situation that it needs in order to hunt. Efforts that have been made in the past to fix the problem include U.S. and Canadian listing of the animal on the endangered species list, which makes it illegal for citizens of both countries to hunt the animal. There have also been efforts made to reduce drilling in the Arctic. This is because the oil-rich areas have been found to be well-known polar bear habitats, and the noise associated with building drilling platforms has been found to drive polar bears away, denying them some of the last ice-rich areas that they have access to. Other ideas which have been suggested for the future, although a bit extreme, include shipping many polar bears to the ice-rich Antarctic for them to survive there. However, the only way to attack the problem at its source is to combat global warming itself. Organizations such as Greenpeace have been successfully doing so by shutting down coal plants across the U.S., advocating for laws to curb global warming, exposing climate deniers and holding them publicly responsible, and advocating for clean energy solutions like wind and solar power. For more information, go to www.wecareaboutthepolarbears.blogspot.com. We
Care!
about